excuse me. We need to cut this music straight off because it's that time again, guys. It's that time again, guys. Where video game companies try to psyop us into thinking that paying more for less is good. Oh, don't you just love capitalism? Isn't capitalism fun, guys? Isn't it fun, guys? You pay more, get less? Oh, wait, you don't like paying more for getting and then getting less? I see your purchase history. I see how many packs of VC you brought in that $70 scam called NBA 2K25 or 2K24. Oh, wait, you're not playing 2K24 because they only leave the servers on for a fucking year. That's one thing I'll never understand about 2K niggas. Why would you buy virtual currency to upgrade your character to 99 just to only be able to use it for 365 days? Like, when the game come out next year, you're gonna have to upgrade to the next game, and your VC, your bills, none of that shit transfers. Remember when 2020, when that fucking weirdo Ronnie 2K said you were gonna be able to respec builds? Imagine if you could pick different build presets and you didn't have to pay to make each one. Nigga, 2K still hasn't fixed their server problems, and it's been like 5+ years since they started the online. But let's look at this Ubisoft claim about how microtransactions help players experience more fun. They're just, wait, hold up. No, I'm gonna leave it. Where's the quote? Oh, it's all seasons entertainment, right? Paying more money for a game you thought you already paid for? Rainbow Six and Assassin's Creed developer Ubisoft thinks so, telling its investors in its most recent annual financial report that monetization within premium games makes the player experience more fun. Well, excuse the fuck out of me. I thought once I paid for a fun game with a fun gameplay experience that includes a fun gameplay loop, that I would just immediately start having fun. Maybe the fun was in typing in my credit card number and my credit pin for the 3,456th time. Let's keep reading. Maybe the quote will explain what exactly makes this fun. Because right now, I'm trying to investigate where's the fun in paying for a game to unlock the ability to pay for the game. As RDC once said, what the fuck did I pay for? A blank disc? Within premium game, this is always optional. Ubisoft stresses, yes, it's optional. Technically, but we're gonna trick your feeble little lizard brain, your little dumbass monkey brain, into thinking it's as non-optional as we can possibly make it out to be. Personalize their avatars or progress more quickly. It's nice that Ubisoft's declined to inform its investors of that fact, but maybe it should alert its actual players next. Online gaming communities are full of screaming spirits that only still walk the earth to punish us for our microtransactions, and to them, Ubisoft is one of the industry's major offenders. No, you know the major offenders to Ubisoft? The people who don't just take their shit and just keep playing the game. The people who say, you know what? No, I'm not gonna take it anymore. And they stop buying and playing these dog shit, piece of shit, bitch ass, unfinished ass fucking games. That's the people that are major offenders to them. The people that draw the line in the sand and say, you cross this, I'm gonna smack the shit out you with this metal bucket. I find it baffling that Ubisoft has implemented terrible microtransactions into every single one of their AAA games. Well, yeah. When you're making shitty AAA games instead of really shitty quadruple A games, more people like them, so you're gonna try and squeeze as much money out of those poor fucking saps as you can. That don't mean it's gonna work, but you're definitely gonna try. Quite literally, almost every single AAA title they've released for nearly a decade now have turned their games into this absolutely horrifying amalgamation of greed dollar bills and copying machines, said some random nigga on Reddit. Excuse me. How bad are the microtransactions? Asked the Steam user. I can't stand when companies dump. Yeah, but that's not an answer. Ubisoft's world is all teacups and roses and dollar bills shaped like roses. Company blah 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 blah. Continues to say in its financial report that with the strong growth in its digital business in recent years, Ubisoft strong growth. So y'all niggas out here pulling a bungee. Ubisoft stock. It's $2.13. It was more expensive for me to go to Costco and buy a $4 chicken bake, which was like what, $4.30 something cents. It was $4 and change. So for me to go to Costco and buy one chicken bake, which by the way has been the same price since I've been 8, and I was 8 in 2000, either 8 or 9. When I was 8, Obama was coming in office. Okay, Obama was in office for 8 years, and that was 2 presidential terms ago. Donald Trump, Biden, and we're in Donald Trump's second term. So let's keep that in mind with this. This is $2 in current day dollars. Let me see something. $4 and it's probably been the same price since before 2008. $4 in 2008 and 2025. So $5.97. So $5. Well, that rounded up, that's 6. So that chicken bake, if we adjust for inflation, buying one chicken plate is worth 3 and some change worth of Ubisoft stock. With the strong growth in its digital business. Your digital business is selling games. What growth have you had? One day. Okay, one day is only negative 0.3%. Last 5 days, they're up to 213. Last month, they're up to 213. In the last 6 months, they're down 15%. And the last year, in the last year, they're down 2%. And the last 5 years, they're down 14%. And from their peak, from their all-time peak, they're down 60%. So I'm not seeing a growth. Because Assassin's Creed Shadow is making it so they're staying afloat. But I remember a while back, before Assassin's Creed Shadows came out, I checked the Ubisoft stock. And that shit was like $3. So from the last time I checked it, it was 3 and some change. Now it's 2 and some change. So they may have had growth over the last month, right? But over the last 6 months plus, they went down. How much you go up in a month, a day, 5 days, doesn't really matter. How much you go up or down in 6 months, your peak in the last 6 months, that matters more. And you're down from that. You're way down from your all-time peak. So, what the fuck? Yo, they're I wish I had a button for it, but they're the biggest flexer, biggest finessers out there right now. They about to pull a bungee. Ubisoft has managed to successfully transform its economic model. I need more elaboration on that because the shit you was doing before obviously wasn't working. And it's being responsible. The company has also set up a working group dedicated to monetization and associated risks with global gaining, blah, 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 blah. I'm still trying to figure out how does the monetization, does the microtransactions make the game more fun? There was no explanation to that. So, business 101. If you don't tell people exactly what you mean and you leave something up to everybody, if you leave something up to the public's interpretation, this is what you're doing. Whatever interpretation they come up with, You gotta take that on a bunny hop, bunny hop. Auto. You got a drilly bop. You gotta take that on a hop. In case you couldn't understand what I was saying. And if you're not from New York, that means you gotta take accountability. You gotta realize whatever the fuck they say, don't matter if it's true. That's what they believe is true now. Because in this whole article, they didn't explain how it makes it more fun. So I know what it is. It's bullshit. It's a big bag of bullshit. No fucking explanation. Just said paying for shit in the game makes the game more fun. Nigga, how? And more gaming companies are trying to psyop us. The era... oh wait, I could stop with this music. The era of game mechanics is over. Shadow of the Colossus director says games have explored so many ideas that whether you like it or not, it's better to sharpen the existing mechanics. Now, I don't know if that video will be up by the time this one is up, but I had a Yap session that I recorded yesterday where I talked about how when it comes to creation and creating things, you can always see your growth and your creations over time. Now, hopefully I remember, but I'll link that video inside this video somewhere if I remember. If not, just go to my QaptainSlander channel, my main channel, and scroll through it. You'll find the shit somewhere. But in that video, I was talking about how when it comes to being a creative, when it comes to somebody who creates things and has creations, one of the main things that you get to see out of your creations is growth of how you used to create things versus how you create things now. When things have a chance to grow and evolve, whether it takes a second to evolve or 100 seconds to evolve, it will eventually evolve after enough time. If you don't try anything, if you don't try to create, you won't get anything. Think of it like this. If your only option to getting a sandwich is getting the fuck up and taking the bread, putting the mayo on there, for you disgusting niggas, putting the lettuce on there, putting the tomatoes on there, for you normal people, put the turkey on there, put the cheese and, you know, whatever, like little spicy mayo or whatever type toppings, salt, pepper, vinegar, whatever the fuck extra shit you be doing. If the only way is to get that sandwich is to get up and do it, and you don't get up and do it, but you sit in your chair and say, why is my sandwich not here in my lap so I can eat it? Because you didn't get up and go make a sandwich. How the fuck you gonna get a sandwich without making one? Same thing. If you're not trying to make new games that have new mechanics and new ideas and you're not giving developers a chance, then what the fuck you mean? Oh, we plateaued, we peaked. Nigga, huh? Nigga, huh? If you were able to travel back in time and bring a caveman to right now, them niggas might legitimately have a fucking stroke if they don't die from all the diseases that their body has no immune system for. If they could tank that, if they could survive that, right? They would fucking lose it if they see somebody talking on the TV. If they see you carrying a box in your hand that makes noises, that has people on it moving around, dancing, talking, doing different things. Imagine bringing somebody, not even that long ago, from 1825 up to now. Not even 18. Imagine bringing somebody who is, let's say, in the middle of their life, they 40s, 50s, from 1925 to right now. How much they would flip the fuck out. Saying, yo, y'all got TVs in y'all hands? Y'all got TVs in y'all hands that respond to y'all and talk like people? Wait, that's people on the other side? Those people are how far away? You could talk to people from the next city with a box in your hand that has no cords? What? And then you can see them too? You can see what they're doing in full color from long distance? No way, bro. No. Them niggas will have a stroke, keel over, and die, bro. So, if technology can progress that much when there was so many points from between 1925 and 2025 where people say, oh, this type of technology peaked and is at the best it could ever be, then somebody came up with a new invention that showed, nope, that wasn't the peak. Now this is the peak. And then somebody after that came out and said, now this is the peak. Now this is the peak. It's always been people raising a bar, raising a bar, raising a bar. So if people are able to do that and like just general technology, why can't you do that in games? I got the answer, nigga. Laziness, capitalism. Why put in more effort than I have to if I'm going to get the same result? The way you get people to buy games isn't by having an inventive game. It's by having a social game with great marketing. Shadow of the Colossus director says games have explored so many ideas that whether you like it or not, it's better to sharpen the existing mechanics. I can't pronounce that shit, so we're just going to say F you. It's his initials, man. It's his initials. FU reveals as much in a recent interview with blah blah blah. Thanks VGC. Where the fuck is the quote? I don't remember exactly why I replied with a like at the time, but I was probably thinking the era of game mechanics is over. And Mr. Director, it's more about polishing existing mechanics now. Excuse me, I disagree with that, because like the mechanic of being able to, let's say, interact by parrying and dodging stuff in Expedition 33 when you're playing the game, that's not a mechanic I've ever seen anywhere else implemented in the way it's implemented there. So I don't really think that's a case of polishing old mechanics, because the way that it works and exists in that game is very different from other places, like let's say Paper Mario. So, and every idea has parts of other ideas in it. So again, this is like with that tweet I was reading the other day. Don't give a fuck about what the next man is creating to see if your creation makes sense compared to the. Stop, you're thinking too hard. Either create it or shut the fuck up and wonder what it would have been like if you created it. That's a fucking bar, nigga. That's a bar. Let me run that back. That's a fucking bar. And that was off the top of the dome, out the heart. I wonder if we are no longer in the era where we need to provide new devices or new game mechanics every single game. No, because people who are actually gamers, not the niggas that play 2K because 2K is dead ass. Niggas might. Hold on. Stick with me on this one. Let me cook. NBA 2K is like the Dragon Ball Z of the gaming community, and then Madden is the Naruto. Madden is the Naruto of the gaming community, because niggas will play NBA 2K and swear to God they're not a lame loser nerd gamer and would never play some nerd shit like a RPG, like fucking damn, what's the name of that game BioWare made? Not a recent one. Oh, Dragon Age. They'll never play some nerdy shit like Dragon Age. They'll never play some nerd loser ass shit like Elden Ring, where you're sitting there looking at menus, creating builds, trying to optimize your build for the best playstyle strategy that has the best animations. Nigga, that's literally 2K. That's the same thing with niggas that watch Dragon Ball and say, I don't watch anime, I don't watch cartoons, bruh. Nigga, the definition of anime fits Dragon Ball. It is quintessential. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Oh, Dragon Ball isn't a cartoon, it isn't an anime. You know where the term anime came from? Came from the American word animation. Nigga, you're watching a Japanese cartoon. Literally. The shit is patterned after American comic books and cartoon culture. Like, it also has some stuff from Japanese, Chinese culture in there. But the idea of the show, the way they ran it, is patterned after American cartoons. So for you to say, oh, I'm not an anime weirdo loser though, because I don't watch none of that weird shit like High School DxD. It's weird ass shit. in High School DxD and is weird as shit in Dragon Ball /Z /Super /Kai blah 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 blah. It's the same thing, just flipped. Even if the mechanics are not new, you can focus on the feel and the art. Oh wait, no. I wonder, blah 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 blah. He's been saying this since Journey as the Katamari head. FU then expands on his point. Even if the mechanics are not new, you can focus on the feel and art. Yeah, but the thing about that is that don't mean I'm gonna like it though, because sometimes having the same experience but updated is cool if I'm getting something new that I like. Like for example, Spider-Man 2 was a very safe sequel to Spider-Man 1. It didn't add too many new mechanics. It was really just the same game with a different, more progressed story. Same thing with Spider-Man Miles Morales. There was a couple new mechanics in that game, but it was mostly the same thing with a new story. People enjoyed it though. He doubles down though, whether you like it or not, it's better to sharpen the existing mechanics. Well, that's if they're dull. Because if the existing mechanics are dull or they weren't functional, then yeah, you should sharpen those. But that goes more into don't release dysfunctional games. The veteran developers' words certainly make sense after all. Video games have existed for decades now, arguably making it pretty difficult to conjure up something that hasn't been conceived by another creator before. Nigga, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck what the last nigga made? I was gonna use paintings, but I feel like this is a funnier example. Think of it like this. Stop thinking about what the last nigga made. Cause if you get a shorty that got 5 kids and you put her on the mattress and you bust down Tatiana inside her booty cheeks, is your kid that pop out gonna look, act, sound, and be exactly like the other 5 kids that she had before you gave her 6th child? No, because that child got you in it. It got your heart in it. It got your soul in it. So it's inherently going to be different from other people's creations. If you want to create something, go out there and create it. But when it comes to babies, don't create it unless you can take care of it. Colorful new narrative, adventure game file. Oh, I don't care about that shit. Now, going on with capitalism a little bit more. This one, I don't have to read the article. Title's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't feel like reading the title, I got you. Short version, Donkey Kong Bonanza, a launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2, is barely running at 60 FPS. And I was going to delete this article, but I wanted to bring this up to remind me that this Sunday, I went to a gaming tournament event, right? When I went there, they had different setups for different games, right? For like the competitors to play on. I don't know why, but for some reason they decided to play Street Fighter 6 on Nintendo Switch. When you hear me, when I say that shit looked like that Switch was over there coughing. Anytime somebody did a super, I had to look away from the screen, bruh. Because nigga, Ryu's super is supposed to be like this. That shit's supposed to be, what, let's say 50 frames. That shit was 15 frames. Nigga, Ryu going with the short U. It take the same amount of time for him to raise his arm, but the shit look choppy. Niggas get grabbed, the whole game lag. I was sitting there like, oh my god, this shit is so hard to watch. Bro, the shit was even lagging and dropping frames during when they were playing Mario Kart World. I'm like, damn, this is a console packing game that's having frame drops constantly on a new console, which should be new hardware. Now I understand Nintendo doesn't have the latest and greatest hardware, but you can't run your own fucking games optimized. You can't optimize your games for your console. That's like you not being able to make a sandwich you like. Like, nigga, you know what you like on a sandwich, and the sandwich is not that fucking hard to make. You can't make a sandwich that you're happy with. Something else I can speak on when it comes to things that people are not happy with. It comes with how the team behind FBC Firebreak are having a hard time hiring new people. And you know why that is? It's because you dropped a game that was dysfunctional and worked like triple platinum dog shit. And you're literally asking people to come work on an already completed, bad reputation having, shittily functioning game. Because I don't know about the gameplay of this game too much. I haven't watched any footage, but every time I hear something about this goddamn game, it's always about how nothing in the shit works. Let's read a bit. It has been approximately 4 weeks since we launched FBC Firebreak. During that time, we released 4 patches that improve the game and partly address your feedback. Now that the game is live, our community plays a big part in shaping the future of this experience. This is just a blah blah, nigga. Ahead of that September launch though, the studio has a few points it'll be focusing on in the coming month. On the understanding the game front, Remedy said it wants to improve the onboarding process and playable tutorial level. Oh, they're talking about to get people on the game. That's equally as bad. Because again, every time I see something about this game, it's not about the game's gameplay. It's about how this game doesn't fucking work. And people pre-ordered this shit like 3 years ago. You feel ineffective and confused as to what to do. Remedy acknowledged this needs to be improved. Yeah, if your game got a dog shit tutorial like Dark and Darker, it can turn people off pretty fast. When it's spelled wrong, to Firebreak's gunplay, the studio wants to give more control to players as to how weapons progress. And what? What does that mean? And let's read this quote. We don't plan to become the game with 100 guns because we don't believe that's the right focus for our experience. Okay, substance over what's the word? It's something with a C. Substance over amount, basically. That said, it's important for us to deliver on meaningful variety. So we're adding 3 new heavy guns to round out your arsenal. Major changes to the way players access jobs. I don't care about the specific buffs, but we pretty much get the point. They said our game is not working. It's on the verge. It's on the collapse. It's to the point to where trying to get new people to play is like just body slamming them into a wall, holding a gun to their head and saying, please play our fucking game. You already brought and downloaded it, bitch ass nigga. If you don't play this game, I'm coming to your house and I'm gonna shoot you in your mouth. Like, if it's that hard, and if it feels like it's that hard to onboard onto a game, of course people are not gonna want to play it. But on the flip side, there's a lot of changes and stuff like that they're said they're going to do. But on the flip side, is it going to work? Because I feel like too many people see how Cyberpunk came back from being a deserved punching bag from having a terrible release to becoming good later on. And I think a lot of people think that every gaming studio could just pull one of those off. And it's like, nah, dog. Not every game studio is capable of pulling off a 3-0 comeback. Because that's what that is. That's a fucking 3-0 comeback. So, yeah. I don't wish wokeness or boredom on any of these developers or executives or anything like that. But if it happens, I'm not going to be sitting here saying, how the fuck did it happen? I know exactly how. I was watching.